Hi guys, having a good August, which is my 5th month of learning to day trade penny stocks on the US market, and it's been a fruitful week and I've had some good trades. So after having my first red month in July, it feels good to be hitting my setups and seeing them work again. So I'm trading with a small $300 account while I learn to trade, and because of my red month in July, I'm taking even smaller size than I would normally on a lot of my trades because it kind of knocked my confidence a bit, but I'm building it back up slowly. So going to go into one of the trades that I took this week, which was for a nice 30% gain. So let's go to the chart. So the ticker was ONMD, and this was a third day surge setup. So most of my videos are quite similar really. They're either third day surge setups or first green day bounces. A few other setups mixed in, but they're mostly this one or first green day bounce. So this is the day one of the stock. So it's moved on high volume, 319 million in the volume. And it's gone from a price of around 48 cents up to highs of 120. So it was up about 150% from its previous day's close to its day one highs. And then it closed around 96 cents. So closed up about 100%, which is not massive. It's not like, wow, this is a stock to watch, but certainly something to put on my watch list just to see how it behaves the next day. And the next day it had a real drop in volume, so only 6 million in volume, which is what I look for on a third day surge setup. And I'm also seeing where it retraced to, so I don't want it to retrace too much where it kind of messes up the pattern. But I do want a nice pullback and then kind of a consolidation on day two. It also had a PR behind it as well. I think it had something like 80% reduction in debt or something like that. So that's why the stock was moving. So if I go over to the intraday chart on the 1 minute time frame. So this is its day one, and then you can see after hours it pulls back, and then pre-market it kind of stays in that area. And then on day two it would have been really nice actually if it held this area for all of day two. That would have been really prime, but it didn't. It dropped a little bit further, and then this is where it's deciding to base just around the 60 cent mark. So I just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I can see it's basing here on day two, and then after hours on day two, it's holding that range. So I'm kind of interested here because of the drop in volume from day one to two. Shorts will size in according to volume on day one. If there's a drop off in volume on day two, they can't cover without affecting the price. So what you're waiting for is some volume to come in on day three, which can potentially squeeze shorts out and force them to have to cover their position. I think that's kind of the general idea anyway. So I'm liking this pullback again. Yeah, I would have liked it to hold this range, but you've just got to go with where the chart tells you it's basing, which is around this 60 cent area. I'm also looking at how much it's retraced. So it was kind of on the verge of, has this pulled back too much where this can't work? But I think it was just about right. I think it was, I can't remember how much it pulled back, maybe about 50%. So yeah, it's looking like a decent setup, and I'm watching it pre-market on day three just to see what it's doing. You know, I need it to be holding this range here. So my risk is going to be just under day two's low of day. So I put it at 0.5949. And then pre-market, I can see is holding that area. And I got in pretty early actually, around here. And I'm actually just loving my entry on this. So I got in at 0.6050, like all the way down here. That's like so cool because there's nothing really going on with the stock here. It's quite illiquid. It looks weak. but I know the way that these setups can work. So I'm in from there, and I'd put $60 on this trade, which is medium size for me. Full size would be like $100 at the moment. I'm glad I didn't like put my usual sort of $20-30 on it. I sized up a little bit for this. As I say, July kind of knocked my confidence a bit, so just being a bit cautious. So yeah, just watching it there, and I'm in the trade, seeing what's going to happen. Get this nice little perk up here, which I think, okay, this is going to blast now, and it didn't, but it's nice to have it, getting further and further away from my risk. So kind of like comfortable where I am. And then pre-market, yeah, it's just kind of holding this range here. So I typically, what I'm expecting is a surge right on market open, and it didn't do that. So if I go into here, you can see on day 3, it's definitely like holding well above the risk, but it's not having that surge that you typically get. So I'm just holding it, and I'm respecting my plan and my risk level. I'm not panicking, I'm just waiting to see if this plays out. And a good point to make here is I didn't move my risk up at all. This was either going to work or it wasn't, and I'm happy to take the loss. But I know as well, these things can jolt around a bit. So this, if I just zoom in, this green line here, if you can see it, let me just take that off, is the red-green level. So that's where the stock goes above day 2's close. So I always mark that out, because it's kind of a positive indication when it's holding above red-green. And so, I could have moved my risk up to red-green here, thinking we should hold above that level, but I didn't. I kept it where it was, and for good reason, because I know that these can chop around a bit, and I would have been stopped out there. And then as the day went on, you can see it literally did nothing, which is kind of unusual for this setup, but just let it play out. And then at around, what's this, 140, start to get a little perk here, which gets a bit more interesting. I think I was cooking my dinner around this time, so I've just kind of got so bored with it. I just I've had it on my phone to see if anything started moving. I'd run back up to my office and have a look. So yeah, sort of had to leave the dinner halfway through and then run upstairs, and it just started to do its thing, which is cool. So profit targets were didn't actually take any off here, but this is yesterday's high of day. And then I like to mark out sort of 30-40% areas, and then areas that are just in line with sort of support and resistance from previous. So I sold along the way, and my best sell was what was my best sell? 87, yeah, pretty nice. 87. And then my average sell was 79. Oh, that really takes it down when you do that. Around there. I didn't actually wait for this PT here, just because it was such an unusual move, and it taken so long to get there. I was kind of a bit more like, let me just lock in the gains, because I'm not sure how this is going to go. But if this had gone first thing in the morning, I definitely would have maximised my gains more. But it worked out at a 30% gain overall, which is really nice. So about $18 profit on that one. That was the trade, third day surge setup on ONMD. Also took another nice trade in the week, which I won't go into loads of detail on, but very similar setup. Third day surge on LASE. So that's its day 1. Day 2 retracement, nice volume drop off, and then you get this surge on day 3. I think I won't go into the full analysis on that one, but took 21% on that. So It's been a good week, and so it's been a good week, but I have to say, when the market shuts on a Friday, I'm so happy and so ready for the weekend to switch off. Trying to work a part-time job and then trade on my days off, and also fit life in around that, it can be intense. And also trading with such a small account, it's a lot of effort. But this year is just about learning, trying to develop a process and a system that works so that I can scale up eventually and hopefully make some serious money. So next week is the last week of August, so I'm really hoping that I can close the month green. I'll keep you posted, and cheers for watching.